Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day of the World Team League 2024 Summer Code A day number 2. I'm, of course, your host, Live VIP, and with me, I'm joined by these amazing teams, players, and people in the chat. We're here for the second day of Code A, and last night we featured the first day. We featured many of these teams, and so far every team is still in the bracket. As you can see here, the bracket is progressing, and there is a lower bracket. Thankfully, it is double elimination. No one has been eliminated yet, but clearly we have some more dominant teams looking strong here, advancing on. We had Club NV and Berserker Esports advance on into the second round, but we have yet to see them face off. We've yet to see them really perform here. They're in the second round. Tonight, instead, we're going to be featuring some new teams, some joint teams. Let's go. I am here for it. Tonight is going to be Twisted Fairy versus HyperBurg and Offside versus Platinum Esports. If you're curious, Twisted Fairy, excuse me, what are you on about, mate? Twisted Fairy is a joint venture between Little Fairy and Twisted Minds. So they have kind of collaborated, brought their rosters together, and created a new team, a team to be reckoned with, a team to be respected. They have a lot of heavy hitters. Likewise, we have Team Hyper 1 joining forces with ForJumy Esports. Oh boy, here we go. Just having a bit of a closer look here at the brackets. You can see here Berserker Esports took down the Starving Camels last night. Club NV took down Team Gosu, and in the coming days, Berserker and Club NV will be facing off against each other. Honestly, Club NV is one of the stronger teams out there. They have a deep roster. We'll see if anyone can stop them from claiming this Code A championship. Scrolling down, we have the Starving Camels and Team Gosu. They were knocked down to the lower brackets, so they're going to be facing off against each other, and here are today's matches. There they are. Up first, Twisted Fairy versus HyperBurg, followed by Offside versus Platinum Esports. Oh boy. If you're curious, Offside is a academy team, or it's a branch off from Onside. Onside Gaming was acquired by Team Vitality, so Onside Gaming does not exist anymore. Instead, they've created Offside as a branch off team instead. So Offside features Firefly, Rex, and Euthermal. Be exciting to cast them later on tonight. Meanwhile, we're getting into this already. Here we go. We have our lineups. Yo, I'm loving the team logos here as well. It's great. But here we go. We have the lineups. We have Classic versus 3-point, Nice versus ForJumy, and Stats versus Special. Oh my. So Twisted Fairy is basically the new Platinum Heroes. What do I mean by that? Platinum Heroes was dubbed the Platinum Protoss, or the Protoss Heroes. They were just purely Protoss players. Likewise, Twisted Fairy, purely a Protoss lineup here. Only Protoss players going to be featured, and we'll see how well they can perform, because those are some big Protoss names that they have for them. Up first, Classic versus 3-point. Oh boy, here we go. Again, Classic, of course, one of the best Protoss players in all of South Korea. I would say Classic is top 2 Protoss alongside Hero. Hero is number 1, Classic is number 2. So he's going to be a big name here to try to bring down. We'll see if anyone can. We'll see if 3-point can. 3-point, he is a South Korean Zerg player. And here we go. We're diving into game 1. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have Classic for Twisted Fairy. And in the top right, we have a Team HyperBurg 3-point. As we get into this, predictions are open. Place your bets. You have a minute or so to place your bets and to get your gamba going, Bappy. So if you're in the chat, best of luck. Best of luck with those predictions as we settle into this PVZ. An easy team to hate. Oh my. Este Classic. Calm down, Bobby. Calm down. True. Team Protoss. Team A move, Bobby. Oh god. You're an animal. Well, calm down. No, yeah, they have a lot of really good players, and I'm looking forward to cheering for them as well. I mean, how can you hate Stats, for example? Stats has joined Twisted Fairy, and he's going to be, representing them here in this team league. I know there's a lot of hype around Stats, and I'm very excited to see how well he performs. Likewise, Nice was recently picked up by Little Fairy as well. So we'll see how they do as we're settling into game number 1 on Post Youth. Now, if you're curious how this format works, Post Youth is predetermined. It is picked ahead of time, and our players are forced to play on Post Youth. Game number 2 is going to be loser's pick. just to go over the format here, it's a best of 7. Overall, it's a best of 7 comprised by best of 2s between the players. So this series between Classic and 3-point is a best of 2, followed by 2 more best of 2s, of course, and it is first to 4. As best of 7s are, first to 4 wins will claim the series. As we are settling in. Those have the best logos, love it, it's great. I love the brain behind the fairy. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. As I just turn up the sound a little bit here, it does seem to be a little bit low. Hopefully, it doesn't blare us. As we do see 3-point going for the gold base. Oh my! Wait, my apologies. Not going for the gold. He's actually rushing his drones across the map, potentially going for the gold base. We'll see how he pieces together. No, we're actually going for. Wait, what? We're stealing the gas. Well, we're mining through. I love this. Okay. So a couple of things here about post-youth. One, there's a mineral wall. There is a mineral wall there for the main base. We're building a gas geyser. Why? To mine through those minerals. Can we actually mine through them as the adept has spotted the drones? Oh, and before we can really get cooking, it looks like we are diving on top of this and shutting it down. Ay. You can see here the adept chasing down those drones. Gas geyser is canceled, and 3-point has to go back, has to race back home here, tucking his tail between his legs. Not like this, Papi, as the cheese gets shut down. If you're curious what was about to happen, so if you're curious, a drone or any kind of worker can mine through a mineral patch and it holds minerals, right? If you take the gas geyser, you can rotate your drones between the minerals and gas and delete the resources in your hand. So you have minerals, then you go into the gas geyser, it destroys the minerals, it gets gas. You go to the minerals, it destroys the gas, it gets minerals, and you can just perpetually mine through. That was the plan for 3-point. But that plan is not coming to fruition. It looks like, oh, we have a little bit of connection issues here to the, it looks like the clean feed has some connectivity issues, unfortunately. But regardless, Lings are going to be flooding across the map. It looks like they break through the first adept, but we do manage to wall off here behind it. We do manage to wall off again. 3-point still completely all in. Is flooding Lings across the map. It's all or nothing for 3-point. We're not turning back. We're not, oh, there is no plan B. There is no other way about this, and one way or another, the game is about to end. Either 3-point breaks through or he dies trying. As we do see, the Oracle has arrived. The Lings are being forced back. Now 3-point starts to drone, but look at the worker count here. 3-point is down to 15 workers. Barely has an economy to speak of, and now droning is just too little too late. 3-point is so far behind, and Classic, he's able to stabilize and yeah, just sit back on 2 bases. There is no Spore Crawler. We get 3 more drone kills. Oracle gets away. And 4 drone kills may not sound like a lot, but when you're down to 17 workers, that is everything. We get another drone kill. Another 2 workers as well. Ay. Yeah, and there it is. GG gets called. The game is over. The cheese has failed. And the Classic takes game number 1. GG. A very fast game there between our players makes sense. I didn't even get to introduce our players properly. Again, everything happens so quickly. 3-point, if you are unfamiliar, he is a South Korean Zerg player, and 3-point is the cheesiest Zerg player in all of South Korea. He's the cheesiest Zerg. He's an animal, Pop. He's an animal, and this is what I expect. I expect nothing but cheese out of him, nothing but all-ins, and what I love is that this all-in that he had planned on post-youth was pretty creative, right? That's what I love about these new maps, is that it allows you, because the maps are so new and so fresh, and because there are so many interesting features about the new maps, you can come up with these weird specific strategies. And that, for example, that one there, you know, pooling 3 workers to mine through those minerals, to take a gas geyser as well, like, it makes sense and it was very smart. Unfortunately, it got scattered, right? Like, unfortunately, because it got seen, Classic shut it down. But if that hadn't happened, I can see it working, and I can see it popping off and working exceedingly well as well. So, alas, it got scattered. GG, well played. Classic takes the first game. Now we're getting into game number 2. And it is going to be 3-points map of choice. Makes sense. Ghost River. If you're curious why this makes sense, Ghost River is, of course, the shortest rush distance map in the map pool. If you're talking about aggression, if you're talking about cheese, if you're talking about all-ins, Ghost River, that is the map to do it on. Oh boy. So Ghost River is going to be 3-point at his strongest, is how I will put it. And here we go, we're loading into game 2, and spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have Classic for Twisted Fairy. And in the top right, we have his opponent, we have 3-point for HyperBurg. Ooh, he cancels that egg. You know what that means? 12 pool. 12 pool is on the way. 3-point throws down the spawning pool. There it is. The 12 pool is on the way. As we did mention, cheesiest direct player in all of South Korea I'm confidently saying South Korea. When it comes to Europe, I'm not so sure. You got players outside of Korea. You know, you have players like Mio Micah, for example. You have Bly as well. There's other animals out there. You have Reaper in the Americas. There's other animals out there that I'm sure would embrace 3-point. He's a great guy. I love him, Papi. I love him. But here we go. We are going to be sending links across the map. Classic coming in with the probe scout. He hasn't checked the main base yet, but there we go. The probe does slip into the mineral line. He confirms the timing of the hatchery. Sorry, of the gas geyser, or the lack of gas, the spawning pool. Classic knows exactly what's going on. Classic is aware, and he should be preparing back at home. And you can see here, Classic is delaying his expansion, going for a 2-gate opener. This is exactly the response you want to go for against a 12 pool. Now, this isn't just a 12 pool. There we go. I like that we have a second pylon. I was going to say this isn't just a 12 pool. It's a 12 pool on Ghost River. So it hits that much faster. The boys have been pulled. Oh my god. It's all or nothing here for 3-point. The boys have been pulled. We're going to try and drone drill past that worker. Do you have the cybercore being thrown down? And is that a full wall? If it is, then we're going to be safe and sound. The drones, they have rocked up, and I believe it is a full wall. Again, very good reaction, very good response by Classic. Fully walls off. The drones are trying to work their way through that cybercore. Zealot is on the way, and the Zealot will pop out. The cybercore is taking quite a bit of damage. Actually, we're going for the gateway. My apologies. Yeah, we're drone drilling here for the gateway. Secondary walls on the way behind this. And Classic, can he wall off in time? Oh! As we do break in, we do bust into that natural base. Cybercore's now done. We're going for the pylons, and boys have to be pulled. Here we go, worker on worker action. The Zealot gets surrounded. Big surround on the Zealot. And the Zealot, it may be able to go down. No good control here at a Classic, but it looks like the Zealot will fall. Probes are falling as well. The Lings are wreaking havoc here. We get one more Zealot. Once again, though, it gets surrounded. The Zealot gets surrounded, and do we have enough? Lings are going down, but so are the workers, and 3-point, it looks like he has done it. He takes out every single worker, takes out all the Zealots. He's going for the pylon as well. And mate, I'm telling you, 12 pools on Ghost River, they are built different. They hit different. The pylon goes down just in time. The Adept does not make it out. And it looks like we may be tying up the series 1-1 here. Yeah, this pylon, it's not going to finish. It's never going to finish. And 3 points. Again, mate, he does almost the impossible here. He does the impossible. Classic was coming in as a favorite player. GG gets called, and 3-point ties it up. Let's go. Let's go, mate. We were seconds away from that Adept coming out. Not just that, though. A shout out to 3-point because he was so quick to surround those Zealots, right? A shout out to 3-point and Funada Classic because his Zealots, both of them got surrounded almost instantly. His first and his second Zealots. Upon seeing that, that was game. You know, the Zealots going down instantly, the boys being forced and pulling as a result as well. That was a brutal hold there. And again, specifically on a Ghost River, let's switch over. Specifically on Ghost River, the rush distance by ground is 31 seconds. So it's actually a couple seconds sooner. And because of that, again, every second counts here in StarCraft 2. Every second does count, and it does impact the game here. As we saw with the Adept, for example, as we saw with the defense, as we saw with the failed secondary wall, it does hit different. GG. GG, well played. We're tied up 1-1. Let's go. Let's go. Yo, who bet? Oh my god, someone got a massive payout. Let's go. Only one person bets on the 1-1 scoreline. Fernantok in the chat, papi. Oh my god. Look at that. Sorry, two people. Fernantok and the Indarial. Let's go. The payday is real. I mean, mate, you gotta have faith here in the cheese, especially in a best of 2. What I should emphasize, the power of a best of 2, not even the power of best of 2, the power of loser's pick. There's no vetoes. There is no vetoes. Because of that, specifically in WTL, you got to see maps like Radisson Station last season more often, maps like Hardlead as well, maps like, oh god, the other one, not Alcyone. Equilibrium. Equilibrium was another one as well. Because there are no vetoes, because it's loser's pick, you could come out with Radisson Station and Equilibrium, maps that are considered a little bit more imbalanced, or maps that are favoring certain playstyles, and make use of that and take advantage of that as well. That's exactly what we saw here. You know, in a standard series, I'm sure Ghost River would have been vetoed. Not here. As you might have that. But here we go. We're getting into our second best of 2. And in the bottom left-hand corner, we have Nice. We have Nice for HyperBurg. And in the top right, we have his opponent. We have ForJumy for Twisted Fairy. Let's go. The PvP is here. Shout out to ForJumy for rocking that parting clan. Beautiful. Shaking my head. Regardless, we're going to be selling into this. It looks like 2 gate openers. Oh my god, we're going to be loading into Dynasty. That is an interesting one, as it looks like the observer is pointing out the parting clan tag. But yes, we are loading into Dynasty. Dynasty, for those who are maybe unfamiliar, is a map with a pocket gold base. The pocket base is a free base to be taken. It's kind of a free base to be taken. It's going to be a weird one here in PvP because obviously you can abuse this gold base with range units. And I mean, what better range unit is there than a Stalker or even Adept? So it's going to be difficult to actually take advantage and make use of that gold base. So I'm curious how we expand and where we do head. As ForJumy is going for a 2-gate opener, so is Nice. ForJumy does hide a probe out on the map, and it looks like he's going for a fake proxy pylon. ForJumy's pylon is fake. Nice's pylon, never mind. Okay, we're sticking around. But it looks like Nice's pylon is going to be a little bit more committed, as it is in the center of the map. We'll see. As for the time being, our players are scouting. They're looking for any kind of stray buildings. Pylons are done. Cyber cores are still in the way. Once they do finish, we could try to commit with some tech. And show us the Robo. There it is. Proxy Robo here from Nice. It's going to be a 1-base all-in from our blue Protoss player. ForJumy, his pylon was a fake. His pylon was a fake out. And Nice's was real. ForJumy has yet to probe scouts, which means he doesn't know. He's in the dark as to what is coming out, what is coming his way. I am concerned Stalkers are being produced here from our green Protoss. Stalkers are on the way. Nice going for Adepts instead. Now, because he opened up with double Adepts, he could go for, instead of Immortal first, he could go for a War Prison and try to get the Adepts into the main base. No, we missed a scout! No! ForJumy, he barely does not see the proxy, and he did not scout the main. He's not aware of how much danger he's in. Oh, I spoke too soon, as it looks like the Robo has been spotted. ForJumy, he does get eyes on this. He's aware. Already has a Robo on the way and is looking to get into his own Immortal production. Let's go. As you do see the Adepts moving on out, we're going to be threatening that main. Trying to instead, we do shade on top of that Sentry. Sentry does survive. Again, remember the Sentry was buffed this latest patch, but it is going to be going down. Sentry does fall. No force field. Boys, they have to be pulled. Boys are being pulled. Nice. And behind this, getting into his War Prism, we have an Immortal on the way for ForJumy. Immortals in production. We are within range of the pylon. That is an Artosis pylon, by the way. Ooh, and we depower the gateways. That's massive. Gateways are depowered. No additional reinforcements outside of the Immortal. And we're going for the main. Going for that main base. Interesting that we're focusing on the gateways, and it looks like we will get one. Try to zone away the army. Stalker is going to get picked up for both players, but we do get the gateway in the end. Do you manage to get that gateway? Second Immortal coming out. To have reinforcements on the way here for Nice. ForJumy, he throws down 2 more gateways behind his mineral line, so we'll have 3 gates up and running. Nice still has the advantage. Going for a warp across the map. The Immortals, they go for a dive, but we have an overcharge. Good defense so far by ForJumy. Does force back the army. Does hold on to his main. And he's up to 2 Immortals. 2 versus 2 here. And ForJumy, he gets into the mineral line. He's in that mineral line. He's going for probe kills. It looks like he's not getting much done, though. Yeah, he's being forced out. The Adept is being hunted down. Nice does defend. At the same time, he slips into the main, goes for some worker kills. Does get a couple of probes. Not bad. Does get a couple of workers. Here we go, we force our way into the main base. Pylon does go down. But there are 3 immortals waiting for him. And ForJumy has to be very careful here with his control. Cybercore almost gets picked up. We get some decent force fields here, but it looks like ForJumy, he's going to be able to hold on. It does hold on to the main base, does zone away the army. We do apologize for the stuttering here with the clean feed. It's affecting the other streamers as well. Yeah, I did see Rotterdam just reported to the WTL admins as well that that again, like, the clean feed is also lagging for him, or I mean for all the casters. So it is a little bit out of our control, unfortunately. But we'll do our best. Do our best to cast a slideshow. We just see again ForJumy is holding onto his main base, forcing back the army. Behind this, Nice is going for a robotics bay, going for disruptors. So he's working on disruptor production. So far, both players have done a great job here at keeping and retaining their immortal count. I believe neither player has lost any immortals. I believe. I may have missed it. Ooh, and as Nice is getting into disruptor production, we do see ForJumy going for a Phoenix or going for a Stargate. I imagine for Phoenixes could go into Void Rays. As he's just trying to hold on to that ramp. Meanwhile, ForJumy, finally he breaks out, going for that proxy in the center of the map. Likewise, Nice going for the worker kills instead. Ooh, getting 4 probes. At the same time, pushing up the ramp as well, going for the Cybercore. There is a backup Cybercore. It has been rebuilt. Good force fields as well from ForJumy. And can he finally get an immortal? It looks like he will not. Clutch save there by Nice. Was a clutch save. At the same time, we force a recall back home. Disruptors have arrived. And disruptors have been scouted. Yeah, we're chasing down those immortals. Trying to chase them back. Now, disruptors, they're all well and good, but because ForJumy is going into Phoenix production, he can disable them. He can lift them up. He can cancel those purification novas. There is counterplay available. Yeah, Phoenixes are revealed. Nova's going to be going up. We're thinking about it. Okay, Phoenixes are sharking around. Yeah, Nice. He cannot get close. Cannot get on this. I mean, Nice. He's mining from his gold base. But can he hold on to it? Immortal, ooh, is going to go down. Bit of miscontrol there out of Nice. Unable to save it in time. Yeah, and ForJumy has control of the gold. At the same time, Adepts, they get in. Adepts, they somehow slip into the main base. Probes are going down. 6 workers. The economy of ForJumy, it's in shambles, but he finds another immortal. Doesn't quite get it. Almost. You can see Nice trying to get into his own Phoenixes. He needs that anti-air. No shield battery either. Please out a Phoenix, please out a Stalker. So Nice has an overwhelming economy. He does have the economic lead, but at the same time, ForJumy has a larger army. So who comes out on top? The larger army or the better economy. I mean, as time goes on, it's going to get better for Nice. But ForJumy, he's pushing in. He's ferrying everything over, jumping the fence, jumping the gold minerals. Now, pushing into a purification nova is going to be difficult. Pushing into a disruptor. But we can go for the lift. Yeah, there it is. We lift the disruptor instantly, and ForJumy, he's breaking through. Gets on top of the army, depowers that shield battery. We do have the overcharge, but it's going to get focused down. And it looks like ForJumy, he has done it. He breaks through the army. GG gets called, and ForJumy takes game number 1. GG. Again, I do apologize for the more intense stuttering that was happening there in that game. As a reminder, just for some explanation, or just to be transparent, everyone, we all cast from it. That is going to be an interesting choice here as we're getting into game 2. And spawning in the bottom of the top left hand corner, we have ForJumy for HyperBurg, and in the bottom right, we have for Twisted Minds. Nice. I said it. Twisted Fairy. I need to get it right. No longer Twisted Minds, Twisted Fairy instead. Let's go. As Nice was doing well, to be honest. Like with his proxy robo, he was gaining ground, he was killing workers. Unfortunately, the transition into disruptors didn't really come to fruition. It didn't really pay off. Just because ForJumy went for the Phoenixes, it was basically a hard counter. Going into all those Phoenixes, he had control of the skies, and he just completely shut down not just the disruptor production or the disruptors themselves, but also the War Prison Harass as well. Just a very good response out of Jumy. And now we're getting into game number 2. Oh boy. Now I wonder, what does Nice have in store for us? For now, it's going to be a 2-gate opener. 2-gate openers from both players. We'll see if we throw down another proxy pylon, and if we go for another proxy setup. Now it looks like ForJumy once again is going for a fake proxy pylon. There it is, a pylon has been thrown down. And because it's on his side of the map, we shouldn't be committing to anything actually with that pylon itself. So ForJumy just trying to fake out a cheese and hoping to force an overreaction out of Nice. Just like he attempted to do in game 1. Meanwhile, we can see that Nice has not sent out any workers, which means, one, he's not scouting, but also he's not committing to any proxy of his own. Oh, and he's opening up Stargate. Okay. So Nice going for a 2-gate into Stargate. This should be for Oracle production. This should be an economic opener. Nice should be looking to expand. Assuming this is an Oracle. Meanwhile, we can see ForJumy skirting around the edge, trying to get additional scouting information. The goal here is basically ForJumy is hiding the probe as the first 2 units come out. By the time they come out, then the probe can move in. So ForJumy, he does avoid the first 2 adepts. Meanwhile, ForJumy moving out with his own. Attempting to at least. Does shade across. And if either pair of adepts does shade into the main base, then we can just wreak havoc in that mineral line. So far, good reaction out of ForJumy, does defend. Likewise, across the map, the probe does go down. And adepts do not make it into the main of Nice either. Ooh, Nice, he even. Oh, Nice even almost gets caught out. Force the pull back. Yeah, adepts, they are getting trapped here. We may be able to pick one off. Meanwhile, what these adepts are doing more importantly is distracting these stalkers, dragging them away, keeping their attention at the natural. And here comes the Oracle as we shade in. Ooh, the adepts, they make their way into the main base. Oracle heads for the main as well. We got 4 probe kills. Pretty good damage. But Nice has yet to expand. Interesting, Nice. He goes for a 2nd and a 3rd Oracle's on the way. You don't typically go up to 3. So very big commitment here out of Nice. Meanwhile, he's trapped in his own main base. He's still yet to expand. Things not looking so good here for Nice. I mean, he has potential with these oracles. Does have potential. But he needs to get damage done. Because his natural base is so delayed. There we go. Nice. Finally expanding. Is finally expanding. Going for a robo behind this, which I do appreciate. With that robo, he should be working towards immortal production to make up for his late Twilight Council. As you have to say, Shaden once again. ForJumy just late to wall off. And the Oracles, they dive into the main base as well. They get 5 probe kills. Did I say 5? We're going to get a 6. Oh, just barely not. Shield battery does keep them alive. 5 workers go down. All 3 oracles survive. They do make it out. And again, when it comes to how we're getting to the mid game here, Nice, or we have an even worker count. Nice won't have blink, or his blink is going to be heavily delayed. So because his Twilight Council was thrown down later, he needs immortals. So Nice is making up for his lack of blink with immortal production. This does also mean that Nice is going to be stuck at home. He's going to be stuck at home, and ForJumy will have map control with his own blink. ForJumy will also have a more mobile army. With that, he could potentially outposition Nice, get into a main, get into a mineral line. And Blink Stalkers are quite flexible units. The upside for Nice is because he went into triple Oracle, he still has something to threaten ForJumy to try to keep him pinned back at home. As you can see here, despite all these Stalkers, they're stuck in the mineral lines. They're stuck in the main bases of ForJumy because of the triple Oracle. And both players are taking their thirds. My plan was to give these points back, but ForJumy too good. Oh, it's your subconscious. Your deepest thoughts. They know, Papi. They know. They know who's gonna win. You're like, Papi, I was just going for the goof. I was just like throwing my points away. No. You know, Papi. You know who's gonna win. You're like the drunken master. You're stumbling your way into being like a millionaire with Twitch points. Oh my god. But we shall see as ForJumy is going to be pushing through the center. We do have our pylons set up. Blink is done, by the way. Bear that in mind. Now, there is a field of stasis traps. There are, I believe, 2, maybe 3 stasis traps back at home. So we have to be careful. Yeah, there's 3 of them. They are set up. ForJumy, ooh, does take one to the face. And that's exactly what I was worried about here. Big stasis does go off. Nice, buying so much time. And this is going to delay the push of ForJumy. Oracles, they get across the map, and a shield battery is not good enough. Probes are going down left and right. Nice, he is fighting back. Meanwhile, the stasis does run out. Maybe we have 2 more. Decent force fields. We get a lot of hull damage. You can see Nice trying to bait the army into that stasis. Juke off the blink. ForJumy pulling back. And ForJumy, as he's backing off, he takes a 4th. He's going for a 4th base. Still has the worker lead, but I spoke too soon. More probes are going down. Oh, getting 5 worker kills. Again, Nice's harass this game has been pretty impeccable. Whether it's Oracle harass or Adept harass, Nice has been getting a lot done. But again, he's had to get work done. Pressure was on. Apparently Nice, he works well under pressure. He gets a sentry. ForJumy still trying to recover economically. Going for a gateway explosion. Charge is done for ForJumy. Charge on the way for Nice. Getting to our upgrades. You can see Nice kind of refining his army, getting to charge little Archon Immortal. But again, Nice is going to be stuck at home until he gets his Archons out. Which is why I do appreciate that because ForJumy has map control, it's very wise of him, or again, very, very smart to just go for the 4th. Take advantage of that map control, expand as quickly as possible. So even though Nice has been killing all these workers, because ForJumy has a faster fourth, there's a bit of a give and take there. And really, those worker kills were just keeping things even. Now, what I will say, though, as we're getting into the mid-game and as the economies are settling, is that who do I favor when it comes to their army composition? So ForJumy, he has a massive gateway army. It's just purely Blink, Stalker, and Zealot. No Immortals, no Archons. Speaking of, Nice, he has the Immortal and Archon advantage. If the game progresses, I want to favor Nice when it comes to his army, but it looks like we catch out a free Immortal. Immortal does go down for free. Big pick off there for ForJumy. And that's what he's hoping for. But once again, there is another field of stasis traps. Oh, 3, 4 stasis traps have been thrown down. ForJumy has to be very careful with how he does engage, as it looks like he does spot one of them. Baits out one stasis, but there's still another. He sees! Much better execution here out of ForJumy. Does better. Oh, he baits out 3. Oh my, he sees everything, Bobby. Oh my god. I mean, he has the Observer there, to be fair, just behind the Immortals. Does have the Observer, did spot all the stasis. Very nicely done. But that's still a lot of Immortals, and that's still a lot of Archons. Like, this army from Nice is still terrifying. Meanwhile, does ForJumy see that stasis? Ooh, he doesn't. Big stasis does connect. And ForJumy, he's forced to pull back. Stalkers, they come in, trying to pick up any kind of stray units. But Nice, it looks like he may be overwhelming. Yeah, he takes out all the Stalkers. Stalkers are going down, and Nice, he's snowballing out of control. He just has a superior army. A higher quality army here. The Archons, they just melt Zealots. Immortals, they do the same to Stalkers. And you can see Nice, sorry, you can see ForJumy's army crumble. As we're going for another big wave of reinforcements. And in a head-on fight, ForJumy, he cannot contest against this. He can't keep up. Not like this. At the same time, ForJumy going for a backstab. Getting his Warp Prism across the map. Going for a big Warpin as well. We're going for a base trade. I mean, this is the only way to make this work. Going for DTs as well. There we go, Nice. He breaks the natural, breaks into the third. At the same time, ForJumy also going for the natural and busting into the main. Again, the base trade is the best case scenario here for ForJumy. His goal, his hope, is to force his opponent to make mistakes. As Nice did recall, but he only recalls half his army. And only half the army. Stasis Trap does go up, only catching 3 Zealots. And ForJumy, can he take the fight? Does collapse here on these Archons. But Nice, he's coming back home. And he turns back around. The Archons do get picked up. But look at all those Zealots. Oh my god. Chasing ForJumy down. And Nice, he still has too much. He cleans up the army, defends his bases. And even with a base trade here, I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. Just because Nice has such a massive supply lead, he has so much DPS available here. We go for another big weapon of Zealots. Stalkers even. Stalkers do come in. Yeah, Nice, he collapses on the 4th and the 5th. Immortals, they don't quite get caught out. Yeah, and here the writing is on the wall. ForJumy's down to a handful of gateway units. Once again going across the map. Recall is on cooldown. Once again, the base trade is his only hope. But Nice is coming back home. ForJumy warping in some Dark Templar. He's going for the Observers. He's trying to. Yeah, takes control of the main base. He goes to the Observer in the main as well. His win condition is Dark Templar. I mean, it makes sense, but we have cannons. Yeah, GG gets called. He does get surrounded. And Nice ties up the scene. Like, nowadays, I think I would rate Kelazur a little bit higher, but We'll see how he does perform here. In the top left-hand corner, we have stats for Twisted Fairy. And in the bottom right, we have special for HyperBurg. Let's go. If you're in the chat, predictions are open. Predictions are open. Place your bets. Personally, I feel like this is going to be the hardest one to predict here. Like 2-0 for stats or 1-1 score. Do we even get a 2-0 for special? Special, he's got a lot of special builds. Pun intended, as he has a lot of all-ins up his sleeve as well. He can be a very tricky player. Hard to predict. I do not envy you at all. Best of luck as we're getting into this best of 2. Here we go. Stats, of course, getting into a gate expand. Getting into his own standard opener. Meanwhile, special, likewise, only going for a single gas as well. So a Rax expand at a special. This does make sense on side Delta. Winding it back a little bit here, we're loading into side Delta, one of the more defendable maps in the map pool. Has a ramp leading into the natural. So we can see that neither player is really being too aggressive here, at least in the early game. We're settling on into our game here. Ooh, special being a little bit greedy. Not only is special going for a Rax expand, which is an economic opener, but special is also skipping his Reaper. He is skipping his SCV scout and he's skipping his Reaper scout as well. I do like this from special. Against, like, on the ladder or against a more aggressive player, I think this is too risky, and I think you can punish so hard for this. But Stats is a much more standard player. Stats isn't really known for cheesing. He isn't known for going all in. So even though special won't have any scouting information, doesn't really matter because Stats isn't doing anything special. He isn't doing anything out of the norm. And special, he's taking that chance. He's taking that risk. And so far, it's paying off. So far, it is paying off. Behind this, we're getting to our add-ons. We're getting to our factory. This could be for an add-on swap into a Widowmine drop. This could be for reactored Hellions. We have options. This could even be Hellion Reaper. Speaking of, Hellions are on the way. Behind this, we're getting into our starport. We're not committing into Reaper production. We're going for additional Marines instead. Interesting. Very interesting here. So this Hellion from special is quite necessary as he does commit to the Shade. We go for the Marine. Good control out of special. Does pull back that weakened Marine. Zones away the Adept. He does defend. What I was getting at though is that these Hellions are quite necessary because special has 0 scouting information. Right now he doesn't know what tech there is. Whether it's a Twilight Council or a Stargate or even a robo-based opener, special is in the dark. The Hellions will help with that once he deals with the Adepts. One of the Hellions does get quite low. Special does keep it alive, does force back the Adepts. And we can see it is a Twilight Council opener with Blink. Ooh, a bit of a gateway explosion. It's going to be 3-gate Blink out of stats. Not an all-in, but quite an aggressive opener nonetheless. Quite an aggressive build. Maybe a better way of putting it. Meanwhile, special continuing Hellion production, going for a Marine drop. Okay, so we're moving out with Marines and Hellions. Hellions on the ground, Marines from the sky. This is going to be a vanilla Marine drop. There's no stim, there's no combat shields, but that's a lot of Marines. Now, thankfully, because stats opened up triple gateways with 3-gate Blink, he should have warp-ins and he should have an army to deal with this. It comes down to the execution. Stats has the tools to defend, but we'll see if he can piece it all together here. As we're jumping into the main base, Stats, I believe he does have Stalkers in position. Yeah, he's waiting for the drop. Does spot the Marines. At the same time, Hellions are going for the natural. And do we have a wall? We do not. Oh, we barely do. We close that wall. We shut down the Hellions. Good defense here by Stats. The Hellions get nothing done. The drop gets nothing done. And now Stats is free to expand and take a third. So very well executed here by Stats. Again, if he had moved all of his army to defend against the drop, then there would have been an open wall. And a special would have gotten the probe kills. Would have popped off. Speaking of, Hellion drop into the main. Once again, those Stats, he did leave units in position. And special has to retreat. does back up from there. Now, what I will say in favor of Special is that even though his aggression was deflected, thankfully Special didn't throw away too much. Remember, sure, his drop was pulled back, but he saved all his Marines. Like, all the Marines were saved. He did bleed out a couple of Hellions, but I think it was only one Hellion going down. The other two were saved. So at least Special, he retains his army, he retains his units for his second push. Would have been so much worse if he lost his medevac. These Hellions aren't too important. Like, they don't scale well into the mid-game. It's fine, it's fine. We can throw them away. More important that we save the Marines. Meanwhile, we do see Stats taking up into Robo, into Colossus production. Extend Dominance is on the way. Third base is being taken by Stats. And Stats, he's taken map control. Now Special is contained. Special is contained here to 2 bases. And Stats does not have to push his way in. All Stats has to do is just make sure that he's able to keep up with any drop play and delay the third base. Speaking of the third, Special does have a third CC in production. So it is not a 2-base all-in. Again, we're piecing it all together here. Not going to be a 2-base all-in. Special threatening a drop. Again, it's a risky maneuver to go for a drop just because it's the only way to be aggressive right now for Special, but at the same time, it's high risk, high reward. If he gets spotted, he will lose quite a lot of supply. So you see Special now moving out with his main army. He's going to be forcing Stats back. Special breaking free. And he may even try to commit across the map as he gets one Stalker. Very nicely done. Hellion goes down. Stats getting another couple of shots off. Doesn't quite get the Marauder. Hot pick up there from Special. Colossi have arrived, but the tanks are sieging. Yeah, big volley off on those Stalkers. They're very low. And here we go, we get the disables on the Colossus. Stats, he has to retreat. Yeah, big disable here. Both Colossi, they can't do anything. But it's about to run out. A very good control here on the Stats. The disable runs out. We have 3 Colossi. And we're going to shut this down. The tanks are falling one after the other. Again, very meticulous control there out of Stats. And you could argue a little bit premature from Special. The tanks go down. The army gets forced back. And this is dangerous because Special just lost his tanks. How does he defend his third? How does he defend that third base as Stats is moving out and Special, he has to make a stand. Oh, no, never mind, we pull back. Stats, he does pull back. Special, he's taking his third base, thankfully. It's getting up and running. Behind this, Stats going for a Dark Shrine. Okay, let's go. Stats is taking a 4th base and going for a Dark Shrine. I do think that Stats could have forced the issue here. At the same time, we're getting some Viking production. So the Colossi would be a little bit vulnerable, is what I will say. Special would have potentially been able to take a fight. Regardless, what's important is that Special gets his third. Yeah, Stats, he's just retreating, chilling back at home. Prism gets caught out. Very nice catch out of Special. But Stats is getting into his second Robo. And with his second Robo comes Disruptor production. So now Stats, he's hit critical mass of Colossi, which is 3. Now we're getting into Disruptor production, and Stats is just refining his army, getting further ahead, really rounding himself out. And because Stats just killed all those tanks, even though, yes, Special was vulnerable, we could have gone for a counterattack, likewise, Special has no teeth. Like, he has nothing to threaten his opponent, which is why Stats can freely expand and tech up as he's doing. It isn't just the 4th base, but second Robo. We have a Forge, +2, double upgrades, double Disruptor production, Dark Shrine, DTs. Like, Stats is free to tech up in whatever direction he wants, and that's exactly what he's doing. Oh, even getting a 5th base. Oh my god. Even getting a 5th base, which I feel like is a little bit greedy there from Stats, but I mean, after that fight, he can get away with it, or at least he can try to. Meanwhile, Special pushing right through the center, knocking down those rocks. He is spotted by the Observer and the Dark Shrine. Sorry, I meant to say Dark Templar, no Dark Shrine, but he's spotted. DT gets across the map, and here we go. Special, can he commit? He has Ghosts, he has EMPs. Not too much damage being dealt here. For the DTs, they get 4 workers, not much else. Ooh, Stats, he's out of position. He misses the army. Yeah, big move here out of Special. Does slip past and he will kill the 3rd. And he gets 11 probe kills. The 3rd base goes down and Stats, he has to catch this army. He's gonna try and hunt Special down. Nova's gonna be going off. Ooh, they graze the army. Big Nova! Ooh, big connection. Big connection here on the Bio army. Ay, ay, ay. Special, he does take down the Colossi. The Vikings, they have to land. And the disables on the Stalkers, on whatever we could get. But Special, he's losing everything. Again, the Purification Novas, they were a little bit too good. He does focus on some of those Disruptors. A bit of miscontrol there out of Stats. But regardless, Special, he loses everything. The Marines, the Marauders, the Vikings, the Ghosts. A very scrappy game state here. At least Special killed the base, is what I will say. At least he killed the 3rd. But remember, Stats had a 5th. So the base count for Stats is still looking quite healthy. We're getting across the map. Disruptors have arrived. This is looking like a pretty bare bones army. There it goes off. Gets a Marine. Special threatening a dive. We have 2 more Novas left. We're down to 1. 1 more Nova. As Dark Templar, they get into the natural once again. They get into the main base. More SCVs going down. And Disruptors, they continue to reinforce. Ooh. Decent connection here on Marines. And yeah, Special is being picked apart. There's just too much Protoss. Too much Stats. GG gets called, and Stats, he will take game number 1. Special has an iconic starport based all-in. I'm curious if he's thinking of that. Meanwhile, in the bottom left-hand corner, we have Stats for Twisted Fairy. And in the top right, we have Special for HyperBurg. Here we go. Here we go as we're settling into our best of 2. Stats taking a 1-0 lead so far. And again, Crimson Court is an interesting one just because of its expansion pattern, of the minerals that you can mine through. There are some pretty secure 3rd and 4th base locations here if you do end up opening up these other avenues of the map. I should say secure 3rd specifically. So I'm curious if Special is thinking further ahead or if he has something else up his sleeve, as Special is going for a double gas opener. Okay. So 2 gas opener out of Special. What this means is a delayed expansion as opposed to game 1. And Special is going for a faster factory. I'm not ruling out a 1 base all-in. Not when Special's involved. Not saying it will be the case, but it's an option. Now the probe is being forced out. Special just trying to keep Stats in the dark. Keep him at bay. To have our first Reaper in production. Stats, he does confirm the lack of CC. And he's just being an annoyance. Forcing back that SCV. Does get eyes on the factory, so he's aware of the double gas opener. Nice scouts out of Stats. And again, Stats, he was able to confirm this without being locked in or out of the main base. As we have our first Reaper moving out, and we have a second Reaper on the way behind this. Okay. Special, you have my attention. We could go into Reaper Hellion. Could go Mass Reaper Hellion, potentially with even a starport behind this. No, okay, there we go. CC is on the way. Thankfully, Special is not going for a 1 base all-in. He's expanding. He is taking an expansion. Starport now on the way. And it looks like he's using his production here for add-ons instead. Okay, we have a reactor on the way on the racks. Tech lab for the factory. Interesting. Are we going for a tank drop? We have a couple of options. This could be for a tank drop, or this could be for an add-on swap into Banshees. We shall see, as tank drops have been a little bit trendy as of late. Reaper does get into the mineral line, but one of them goes down, and it's trapped. There's no way out. So the Reaper goes down. Both Reapers even. Big loss there for Special, and it is a tank drop. Tank is on the way. Medevac should be in production from that starport. Again, this build that Special's been going for, or that Special is going for, has been trendy amongst players like Bjorn, players like Gumiho, amongst some of the Korean Terrans. Oh, my apologies. I assumed it was going to be a medevac, but no, it's going to be a Liberator. Okay. Let's go. Liberation has arrived. Special going to try and bring out his freedom. I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. Meanwhile, we have our tech of choice from Stats going for his Twilight Council into 2 gateways. Fun fact, this is the same build. 2 games in a row, same build out of Stats. It is going to be 3-gate blink. And because of this, he will have an abundance of units early on to defend. And what Special has is very fast tank production. Very fast tank production and an abundance of tanks as a result. This would not be bad for a 2-base all-in. We'll see. Just because he's going to have a fast 3rd and 4th tank here, I'm sure he wants to make use of it. Liberator's moving out. Medevac thereafter. So we're working towards that eventual push. And we'll see if Stats can piece this together. Everything we've been talking about, everything that we've seen from Special, Stats has yet to really get eyes on. As Stats is being defensive. And the Liberator is threatening that main. There we go, the first medevac has arrived. The Liberator sets up in the main base. We do have a shield battery in position. Good target firing out of Special. Goes straight for the probes. Yeah, 3, 4 workers go down. Good damage dealt there by that Lib. Special's going for his add-on swap. Trying to set up an add-on swap. There we go. And he's already on 3 tanks. He's already on that 3-tank setup. Behind this Stats, he's expanding. He has map control, of course. Is going to be poking that front door. But again, this move out from Special is going to hit like a truck. Here we go. He is moving out. Now, Special only just now started Stim. So we can pick away at these Marines. See Special trying to catch the Stalkers. Hoping to get a free volley off. 3rd CC on location. Okay. I see you. Also, Special, he's avoiding the 4th tank. We can see here, yeah, he's moving his factory over. Only 3 tanks. So my apologies. I assumed that Special would be pushing on 2 bases with this 3-tank setup, but no, he's setting up for a longer game. Interesting. So he went for a very tech-heavy opener just so he can do this, just so he can be a little bit more assertive and get his 3rd base a lot faster on location. Special, he has my attention. He has my attention. I'm intrigued. Behind this, Stats is freely getting into his 3-way setup. Colossus are on the way. Gateway Explosion has arrived. Liberator gets into the main, and where is the army? Oh, Stats bleeding out a lot of probes. 4 workers go down. Yeah, forcing a recall. Stats forced back. Because of the recall, that means Special with his move out, he won't be spotted. Unless we have an observer over. Okay, we do. Observer is over the army. Special, does he see? Does he notice? Dark Shrine on the way. We have the turrets. I'm loving the turret placement here from Special. That is to catch any observer over the army. And he is moving out, at least with his drops, keeping his tanks at home. I believe Stats did spot that. Liberator's moving in. Also, I have to be careful. Yeah, probes are getting picked off. Stats unable to keep up with the Liberator. It's 3 probe kills. This time, Stats in position. Finally, the Liberator goes down. But you can see that, like, Special, because of his opener, because of his build, like, he is skyrocketing ahead. He's up in supply. Something that never did happen in the last game. Has to be careful, has to back off, respecting the army. But yeah, it's been very methodical play here out of Special throughout this game. Now we're getting to Vikings, getting to Ghosts. This time Special, because he doesn't move out with his first wave of tanks, like, he doesn't lose momentum. So his army is quite terrifying. It's quite terrifying. 4CC on the way. And Special is just more concerned about getting into a solid mid game. Even further than that. Marine dusts him across the map, gets into a mineral line, dragging stats back home. Zealot drop is going to get a bit done. Zealots and Dark Templar, let's go. They get into the main base. We do force a recall. Prism does escape. And you can see that Special, basically this playstyle, he's hoping that Stats pushes in. Like, he's been defending this entire time. And Stats does not take the bait. Not yet. Stats is rotating around. Special trying to catch the army, does scan, does spot the Colossi. Tanks are sieged. And it's all about positional play right now. Special trying to get on top of Stats. Unable to yet. Going for his fourth. Stats going for some more Zealot harass. Disruptors are on the way. Again, we've had some very tense couple of moments here between our players, and no one's pulling the trigger. No one has committed yet. I spoke too soon. Stats is going for the third. Tanks, they're out of position. The third base is exposed. Yeah, we're going right for it. SCV is going to be going down. Stats, once he sees the army, he backs off. Very careful movement here out of Stats. Nervous are going to be connecting. Big connection there on Special. EMPs were good. We get, that's a kill. Oh my god. A kill on that planetary. On that orbital, sorry. 12 SCVs go down. All it takes is one moment where you're out of position, and Stats, he will punish you. The planetary is up. It will be a lot harder to bring that down. But Stats, he's picking Special apart. Again, being so careful with how he does commit or how he does engage. At the same time, Zealot run by at the planetary. Nova goes off. Show us the planetary. How? Oh, as it does hold on. Good repairs out of Special. Special is supply block going for his own drop across the map. It does force a recall. And we're going for the main. And we're going right for the main base instead. Stats, he sends everything back home. And Special finally has some breathing room. He's going for the third base. He is moving out. Oh, where are the Stalkers? We get one Colossus for free. Good pickup, we got one. We're going for a second Colossus as well. Big pickups. Good EMPs out of Special. Yeah, and Stats, he's falling apart a little bit here, being dragged apart by the drop play of Special. But across the map, that's 19 SCV kills. Oh my god, the Zealot Rambo was insane. He gets more than a mineral line. Special, sure, he kills a base, but he doesn't get as many probes. 10 probes go down, as opposed to the 19 SCVs. Tanks are pushing forward, though. They are pushing in. Never connects. Ooh, another Colossus goes down. Drop once again going into the main base, getting even more probes. Finally, it's going to be shut down. Oh god, these Zealot Rombats have been brutal. Catching reinforcements, they get on top of the Marauders. But finally, Stats, he dealt with the drop. He can focus on the main push. Again, Stats has been having a hard time keeping up attention-wise with Special. But Stats, it looks like finally he can collapse on the army. We have a massive wave of Zealots. And finally, Stats, he will clean this up. The tanks, they get swallowed up here by Stats, and he forces the lift up. Forces the retreat. We have DTs in the mineral lines, and Stats, he takes a lead. Does take a lead here. The Nexus goes down. We're going for the medevacs. Do not get them. Again, becoming a very scrappy game. These Dark Templar, the MVPs, not just Dark Templar, really the War Prism. This War Prism has been doing so much, getting Stalkers and Dark Templar across the map. Special, he finally shuts it down, but it's too late. The damage has been done. From the Novas. Big connections. Oh my god, full medevac goes down as well. And the Novas, they will connect here in the mineral line. The Planetary goes down. Special, he gets knocked down to 2 bases. GG gets called. Special has nothing left. And Stats, he will take the 2-0, winning it all here for his team for Twisted Fairy. GG. Whew, oh my god. GG, well played. Stats will take it. That was a very tense game though. Game 1 was more in favor of Stats. Honest, like game 1, like Stats was looking so impressive. Here in game number 2, Special was so much more in control. He was able to establish his 3rd base, his 4th base. Again, a little more careful play at a Special, a little more mid to late game oriented. Special found a lot of success as a result, but likewise, Stats was also so patient with his own play, just meticulously just rotating in between the bases, looking for a way in, looking for any kind of weak point, and he found it. The kind of momentum started to go in favor of Stats when he did hit the 3rd base. When we saw that Special, he got caught out of position, 3rd base went down, it actually got picked off. It was a big moment for Stats. And then we had some drop play, right? Then Special, he had some own counterplay as well, and it was good stuff. It was good StarCraft. GG. GG, well played. Even though it was a 2-0 Special, he held his own. He held his own there in that 2nd game. Regardless, congratulations to Twisted Fairy. My condolences to HyperBurg as the series has concluded. Twisted Fairy advances on, and we're going to be going on a short break. When we return, Offside versus Platinum Esports. See you soon.